So these video series that I'm going to create in the next few weeks going to be probably 5 or 6 videos. I'm not sure at this point. We're going to be covering sensors and specifically their role in drones. What type of sensors are used in drones? What are sensors? First of all, some examples of sensors, and later specific sensors that are used in drones. What we do, these videos are intended to be for our team at our university. We're a team that work with drones, and we have some sub teams that there are some students who want to work on creating different projects with sensors. So it's important to have a good understanding, a good base of what's the difference between sensors and actuator, some examples, and why we choose specific types of sensors for our drones. So in this video, we wouldn't have time to get into specific sensors that are used in drones, but just a basic understanding of what they are, some examples. Alright, now you can see a bunch of sensors in this picture. There are probably a lot more. What our focus will be for our application, which is role of sensors in drones, would be IR sensors, infrared sensors, and ultrasonic. You can see both in this picture. Infrared sensors in the bottom left, and ultrasonic it's in the right side of this picture. So what is a sensor? By definition, it's a device that detects or measures physical property, then records or responds to it. Technical definition is converts a signal from energy domain to electrical domain. If you think about where sensors are used, the purpose is the same for all of them. They receive some information from their environment, they convert that to computer's language, which is zeros and ones, and computer, being the brain of the system, makes a decision based on that information. And this happens constantly. It has to be constant feedback from the environment. There are different categories, there are different ways to categorize sensors. One of them is active sensor versus passive sensor. Basically, active sensor requires external excitation signal or power signal, and passive sensors do not require external power signal. Another way to categorize sensors are analog versus digital. They produce analog output. Analog sensors, they produce analog output with respect to the quantity being measured, versus digital is that produce discrete values or binary, which is zeros and ones. Like I mentioned, it's the computer's language. And some examples are infrared sensor, pressure sensor, temperature sensor, proximity accelerometer, color sensor, touch sensor, smoke or gas sensor. Now, like I said, it might sound very confusing at first. There are a lot of examples, but again, going back to this picture, in the next videos I will be covering infrared sensors and ultrasonic sensors, and also LiDAR sensor, which are useful for our purpose, which could be used on drones. I will be comparing ultrasonic versus infrared. LiDAR is not very useful for us, but I will still be covering them. But again, like I said, the applications might be different, but the principle is the same, that they receive the information, they convert it to computer's language in order for a computer to make a decision based on that information.